So it sounds like you guys all got together Sunday night. What was that like watching the game?
A lot of ups and downs, watching from a fan's perspective. Not always the easiest one on your heart rate. Yeah, but obviously results were good for us, but still goes back to if we don't take care of business, nothing else matters. So that's the mentality we have now.
What was the third quarter, the fourth quarter like, overtime?
Just hoping for the right win, or the right result at the end of the game, and Commanders were going to win, and they did.
Even bigger Jaden Daniels fan today?
No. No.
On the offense, where you guys are right now, are you pretty much feeling like this is the best? You're at your peak, not your peak, but the way you're playing, the way you're moving and spreading it around, running game, line, everything. Is this the best that you guys been playing, you think, Baker?
I think Sunday was probably the most consistent we've played for 4 quarters. Now there's still room for improvement. You know, like I mentioned after the game, we'd rather have some touchdowns instead of field goals early in the game, down there in the red zone. But yeah, I mean this is the good games that we've had. That was the most consistent one. But the good games we've had, the run game's been going well. Guys are protecting really well. Ball's getting spread throughout, and defense dictating where the ball needs to go. But guys are making plays, and that's just need to have that same mentality. And it goes back to the little things. Guys were detailed, knew their jobs, knew exactly what we were trying to do to attack them, and we were all dialed in.
Baker, I know you want this opportunity anywhere, but what does it mean to have this at home on Sunday, to basically have the right to earn another home game if you take care of things on Sunday?
Yeah, you always want to have the mentality of protecting your home turf, and I know that hasn't exactly gone that way this year, but yeah, you always want to be able to play in front of your crowd, just the energy, get them involved early, especially when it's a rivalry game in division. So yeah, you look forward to that.
Baker, when it was dark and kind of rainy and things didn't look so good, and with all those losses, and nobody wavered. I mean, did you feel you guys would get to this point? Did you really believe that? You had done it a year before, but what's the hardest part about selling that every single week?
I truly believed it. It said it early on. This team had the mental makeup to overcome anything, and we do. But you know, it's hard when you're in the middle of it, in the thick of it, trying to see what's going wrong, trying to find those answers and fix it. And so it just sometimes it takes longer than others. But yeah, it goes back to doing the little things right. Guys being on the same page, communicating. And at this point in the year, we've played a lot of ball. There's not much you can really install that's new. So it's about communicating and being on the same page, and our guys are doing that.
Baker, I know you obviously talked about it, Mike and his record, and I know you mentioned it on Sunday, and Todd was just talking about there's no balance because it's about winning, but we know obviously what it means to him, and we know how much it means to kind of everyone around him. Can you just kind of give us the perspective of why it means so much to you guys to get this done for him?
I mean, let's put things in perspective. You're talking about tying somebody that has all receiving records across the NFL throughout history. You're talking about somebody that's consistently been somebody in this community that has raised people up, continue to be the face of this franchise, and be there for people. And so that record is important for us, for to get him to that. Obviously, winning is the most important part, but those two things go hand in hand. Mike's a huge part of this offense. He's a huge part of this passing game, and so getting him involved early and often is a lot of the reason we've had success. And so those things go hand in hand. Yeah, there's balance, and the most important thing is winning, but I see it playing out. If we win, that's Mike's getting the record. And so yeah, we got to focus on winning and getting him the ball, but guys playing for each other. And it's Mike won't say anything about it, and that's just who he is, and that's why we love him. That's why everybody loves him. That's why he's been so consistent for so long. It's never been about just himself. It's been about winning and trying to find ways to win.
Mike isn't real vocal necessarily, but like he talked about, going into this last game, how you guys knew you had to be the most physical team, had to play the hard. Like, he brings more than just playmaking, right? In terms of what he brings to each other. Yeah,
like you said, not the most vocal guy, but when he speaks, people listen. And I think just the way he carried himself last week, he could, he started the sense of urgency on the offensive side of the ball, which is great to see. And then today at walkthrough, he had his black Air Force Ones on, so he set the mentality again.
There you go.
Baker, you said after the game that the success of the offense starts with the guys up front. What can you say about the offensive line and the job that they've done this year to kind of make your life easier?
Oh yeah, those guys have played so well, and obviously we've had Schools had to step in and play a few times. Last time with the Saints, Hainsey had to come in and play center when Graham was out. So I mean, there's a lot of communication that goes on in that room. A lot of guys putting the time in to get guys prepared. But the progression throughout the year of them being on the same page and getting this run game going has been the biggest difference. And so, leaning on those guys, continuing to trust them to break these holes open for the backs, and they get it started.
And a lot of the credit in terms of coaching offensively obviously goes to Liam Cohen, but what about Kevin Carberry and the job that he's done?
He's done an incredible job. Not just Kevin, but Brian Picucci as well, our assistant line coach. You know, those guys. There's a lot of guys in that room to coach up and get detailed, and so they do an unbelievable job getting them on the same page and understanding and covering all the possible looks we can have. And it's tough when you have this many different, run variations and things to get guys prepared, but they do a heck of a job of it. And obviously the guys have to be locked in to understand all of it.
Your former teammate Sam Darnold also has a huge game this weekend. Have you kept in touch with him at all from your guys' time back in Carolina and just kind of talked about maybe how this season has panned out for each of you in your careers?
We haven't really taken the time to talk about this year, but I just catch up with him every once in a while. Just check-ins, nothing too detailed, but we always try and stay in touch. He's obviously getting another chance, which he deserves. Speak that from personal experience. You just need a fresh start every once in a while, people that believe in you, and so he's taking advantage of that opportunity.
Baker, is there anything that you can harken back to or take away from last year's experience going to Carolina, having a similar winning scenario and whatever the records were, you guys were favored, so on and so forth, and then you end up playing that grinder of a game. Is there anything you can take away entering this weekend against the Saints?
Let's speak from an offense perspective. Still playing aggressive, still playing to win, to go win the game, not just to get by. So having that same mentality we've carried through of trying to score a lot of points early and often to let the defense get after them a little bit. And so that's our mentality on offense, to score as many as we possibly can and don't look back.
You've always said that you're judged by winning as a quarterback.
Yep.
And you've done that here. And when you step back and look at the numbers, you're hitting career highs, topping them from last year. Is this the sort of production you thought you could have under the right circumstances?
Obviously it's, the guys that I have around me, the line up front protecting me is a huge reason why I'm able to have those numbers. But we'd like to have a lot more wins and not be in the scenario where we're playing the last game of the regular season to get in. So it truly is what matters to me. That's it.
What's your definition of a balanced offense? Is it the equal number of runs and passes, the ability to call any play at any time, keeping defenses uncomfortable? How would you describe it?
When you look back at the end of the season and seeing the balance of the total pass plays to run plays, sometimes it can get skewed because some teams will load up the box to stop the run and you have to throw it to win. So there's variations of it. It's, to me, balanced offense is doing what you need to do to win the game, and no matter what the look is.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.